athlete drama.
Oh, sorry. I think we're going to be recording. It was recording, and it said it was recording, and
It says it's recording.
now it says, okay.
It also says live on Facebook.
Yay!
Yay!
From your favorite coffee shop. Yay! Cheers, Mama.
Cheers.
So I'm Mindy of MindyGets.com.
And I'm Erica with Love, Joy, and Sprinkles.
Yay! And we're here today to talk about something.
Yeah, speaking of the teen drama. So that we've swapped. I'm now eating gummies and she's taking my sprinkles, my capsules. Because
chewing a gummy is so difficult.
She doesn't like the taste of them apparently anymore. Teenagers.
Yep. That's right. There's options and you have them.
There's options.
Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, well, apparently I can't. I just shared, and apparently I chose the one where I don't comment on anything. So happy Sunday! I had to double check the calendar because I would have sworn last night is the full moon, but it's not. It's next week.
Yeah, we've got a whole nother week of this.
Yeah, because. Energy's weird. Animals are weird this morning. And apparently kids are too. For sure.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Ron. How are
Thank
you
for
today?
Joining us. You can comment, give us something to, this is, Mom Talk Improv. Give us something to talk about. Not that we don't have things to talk about.
Oh gosh, we could talk. We could talk.
Like
I think that's why. I think that was part of the drama. I was like, okay, well, we can leave in a half hour. She's like, okay.
Yeah, right, Mom.
I don't think she believes me. I don't think she believes me.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
So, us Midwesterners aren't good on the promptness and the 30 minutes and out the door because there's always something else, You get up, your knee creaks, so who you're sitting with asks you, how's that knee doing? Are you getting a replacement? Whatever it is. And then you start talking about Joe Blow, who just got their hip done. We're going to call
there's a joke. There's a joke about in New York about, when you're going to leave, the leaving soon actually means we're leaving in like an hour. Because there's 4 goodbyes, 4 hugs. Yeah, like leaving archery. Are you joining us today? I guess. I don't know if I can get her in here. There we go. Only here.
It's like a very, sci-fi. You just, whatever, when they zoom you in. Not Zoom, but you beam me up, Scotty. There you go.
Oh,
this girl did it right. Like you just teleported when you come in through that imaginary coffee shop wall.
We have no topic today. We're just chatting. Yeah.
Hi. Good to see you.
Do you have any topic?
No. Okay. I was like, I don't want to hear you talk. You just want to go shoot, don't you?
Yeah.
Get done, Mom.
We just signed her up for a tournament at the end of June.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If they decide to hold it, we'll see. Most of the tournaments, even one of the large national ones in July has been moved. And that's a national team qualifying one, but they're moving that one too. To the fall. So, which my brain just keeps ticking how many weekends from September to November we're going to end up.
Yeah.
Busy. But I'm looking to see, are you monitoring to see if anybody has any questions?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool.
Trying. That's how I saw Mr. Ron hop on.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Just double checking because I think I shared it on my page, but I don't know.
Imagine
Like I'll see the same comments that you necessarily would.
Oh, yeah, no. I think they can comment on your shared posts, which I would not see.
Okay.
Learning all the technologies. It's an ever changing loop of craziness.
Yeah. The cat is just, we've got a little kitten and he's hit that energetic. He's probably where the 4-year-old is right now. Hit that crazy energy spike. I don't know if Eden's getting that right now.
By the sound of things when I went out the door, yes. And yesterday, yes, was a little bit.
I don't think
a little bit energetic
all day yesterday.
Yeah, she has.
Talking, moving.
I felt like I needed to take a video yesterday at one point of her on my lap because she did not stop moving. She was squirming, tucking her feet under my legs, turning over, climbing up, sitting down, putting her feet in my face. Like,
right.
I was tired watching her and trying to keep her like on my lap. I'm like, the video of this probably needs to go to her OT and so that there could be some assistance later on, but I'm like, I'll drop my phone and break it trying to video her doing this. So yeah.
I don't know. He didn't even sit still long enough to sit in my lap. And then of course that led to lots of trouble yesterday because he wasn't pausing long enough to get instruction or listen to us saying not to do something. Yeah. So we had quite a few timeouts yesterday, lots of.
Yeah. So Harley, you don't come with a rubber chicken?
Oh, brother came with a rubber chicken last time. I'll come with the kitten. You're gonna get the kitten? Getting him to sit still. My hands are so ripped up right now. And literally he was attacking my ankles while I was blow drying my hair this morning, which again I find interesting because most cats are afraid of a hairdryer.
Yeah. Crazy energy.
I don't even see the share.
Kids and animals pick up on it. When it's windy around here, we know that there's energy shifting, and yes, cute little kitty. Oh.
So maybe the energy's just starting early. I don't
know. Yeah, so kitty. So yes, you're gonna fall backwards. Yeah. It's not exactly a season change. I mean, we had heat yesterday and this wind today. But yeah, it feels like season change, full moon. Somebody ate too much sugar and maybe a food coloring, but she did have a little bit of sugar yesterday. We had to have a birthday party for Bubba White. So there was that. But
I'm trying to think because I don't know how much he had during the day yesterday necessarily.
Yeah.
So
Don't attack my hand.
But yeah, I'm starting to evaluate that myself. Just because.
Yeah. But I think
some of those added things.
I think they pick up on the adult energy as well. And of course, at the birthday party with our aunt and uncle for this fictional character, by the way, Bubba White is a cloud baby.
Okay, I was like, I don't even know who that is, but okay. I was thinking
Yeah, no. Anyway, fictional character. She was out in the yard crying the day before with her arms stretched up. Bubba White, come down. Because they're cloud babies. They live in the clouds. And she wants to come down from the clouds. Anyway. But yesterday there was adult talk about the craziness in the world and the unrest in the world, and I know my little doesn't process that well, and so the flipping and flopping and squirreling and oh geez. Although she slept pretty well last night, so I guess I understand it. And I know for me,
forward so you have a head. Well, that's good. I mean,
children, not a good thing. But yeah, I know I found myself this week. Unrest, I guess, is the best.
Agitated, like not agitated. That's the wrong word, because agitated means like it's conscious. But yeah. Unrest. Yeah, that just
because I am well, my family is well, but I know everyone isn't well, and I know everyone isn't in the same boat.
Right.
Oh. Are you grumpy?
We out here in our little neck of the woods are pretty well protected from a lot, not tornadoes, but a lot of other crap storms. But that doesn't mean that we are unaware or that energy doesn't filter over, you know? I mean,
on the phone. Go ahead.
I don't want to leave, but I don't want to be
I'm
here.
giving Joe permission to leave. Yeah, no, I think you're correct just in terms of, and I know, I think Gabby Bernstein talked about it in general, about even during the pandemic, right? The putting light out there, right? Instead of your unrest, projecting light in order to help the world heal, even from a viral attack, right? It's, you can put your light out there instead of the anxiety, right? To contribute to a larger energy. And I think in the same way, when that energy gets disrupted in the way it has in the last week, whether you're right in the middle of it or not, it starts to roll all of that up. And regardless of where you are, you can start to feel that.
Yeah. Because I think, I mean, clearly I am my own person and I'm not like everyone else, but I see people struggling. I know that it's my purpose to help people, but obviously I can't save anyone. On that type of healing work level. But there is a desire to be helpful, even if I don't know how, or, you know, I think there's a lot of really good scientific information out there that's been pushed under the rug and avoided and scoffed and whatever. And so I've, you know, tried to offer some of that out there in the world with hope that people will find hope and ditch some of the fear. Because there's, again, waves of fear rising up and that are causing different kinds of viruses to be spread. And it is, to me, in my opinion, a layer of healing. No matter how ugly it is, healing is not usually pretty. The end result is good, but the healing layers, I mean, you know, watching a surgical wound heal, that's not a pretty process. It's disgusting. Well, maybe that's not a good word.
Well, I think, well, Well, when you're talking physically, what you specifically were talking about just now, yeah. Like when you're looking into a leg, right, that's been cut open, and I think that in using it that way, it would, right. But I think that's kind of, it can get, sometimes it has to get ugly before it can get better. Because you have to, right, it's thinking about like a cake, right? Or something, right? You have to mix it up. And sometimes it has to get ugly before it can be, I don't want to say pretty, and I don't want to put bad euphemisms on things either, but kind of that, it's the only way you can kind of see those things is to stir up what's on the bottom, kind of.
Yeah. And not that justifies anything that's happening in the world right now. But right. I don't think that anything that promotes more fear is going to be helpful.
Well, and when you stir that up, regardless of where you are, because it's part of the larger picture too of how we're all connected, it stirs it up for everybody. So whether you're in the thick of it or not, you're in the thick of it because you're impacted by it.
Yeah. And it's
I think it'd be very triggering for a lot of people too.
I think there is value in being with your own unrest, which is what I've been trying to do this week, to not force a pretty picture sort of resolution, not to avoid it, but to just be like, I don't know what to say, and I don't know exactly how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to force words. I'm not going to, be posting all the time on social media, or I haven't blogged in a long time, because there's just a lot of processing happening, and some of that processing is writing, but it's mine for me, and down the road it might be somewhat shareable, or bits of it shareable for others to learn and to see, but it's right now. It's like posting in the middle of a divorce.
I think it took me until Friday or Saturday to even realize kind of what I was feeling. So there's that too, right? You're feeling that unrest, that unease, the restlessness, just that, but you don't know what it is. You're just feeling that. And it took me a while to realize, and so again, processing, right? And knowing how to react yourself, right? So that, like with our 4-year-olds, they're still learning to process. They don't know how to process. Their reactions are what they are. But at the same time,
Morning muffin?
Sure. Yeah, you can have a big one even if you want.
Yeah,
I can get it for you.
When you lean forward that way, we can't see you here. You don't have to be here. Fine, you can be there. I'll take that. Yeah. All right, she's gonna leave us. She just keeps leaning forward and out, and she's paying attention to other things. So I was like, you can leave us. It's okay. No, just saying, just like, we always talk about our 4-year-old or our 5 or even our 14-year-old, right? Not being able to understand and process because they're so new into it. But I think sometimes we have to give ourselves a little bit of, and each other a little bit of that same understanding that some people can process quickly. Some people don't even realize that they're needing to process something for a little bit of time, right? And but once you start to do that, you have to, as adults, we know ways to get through that process, and we need to help each other and help ourselves kind of work through and kind of get to the other side of that unease. And again, sometimes it takes, some person might be able to get through that quickly to be able to vocalize. I'm not saying like get over it, get past it, and it's done in a day. That's not what I'm talking about. But the processing and being able to verbalize and be outward on it. Like some people take less time to do that than others. I know, she'll probably tell you this, it takes me a long time to process and even realize I'm trying to process something. But I think that's natural too. So if you're feeling that unease, it's not unheard of and it's not unusual. And if you don't know what that has been, maybe that, like I said, it took me until like Friday or yesterday to even realize that I was feeling that. So, and there's a lot going on between that and, I think the other thing that can be triggering is, I started realizing even just the opening of things up and the quote unquote getting back to normal, right? Isn't normal. We don't have a new normal yet. It's a different normal again. So it's only been 3 months, let's say. But now we have to start to think of things a different way while you're still processing what was going on to begin with, right? So it's like, I think there's a lot of unease, and if you give yourself that opportunity to process and accept what you're feeling, to put some kind of label on it so that you can kind of work through it. So journal internally, journal externally. My warning just on journaling externally is just being careful not to be triggering to others, right?
Oh, yeah, posting. I think one of the discoveries lately is how autopilot the world was. How we numbed our lives with materialism and then created stress and drama to support our materialism, and use our thoughts to create the same day and the same day and the same day and the same outcome, and then we could have try to have the same thoughts, but we weren't getting the same outcome, and it freaked people out. I'm not saying I was immune to that, but I've been on a process of getting out of that cow rut neural path of only doing the same things for a while. Doesn't make me better, just different, and everyone is. I think that you're right, that we don't know what to think when we can't think the exact same thing. And that's okay. It really is okay. That's how change happens. But for a number of people, that is earth-shattering to not be able to have the same thoughts and the same actions day after day. And you're right. We were shocked into lockdown. We are shocked into opening up. And if we can find any way to be with those processes, we will come out better for it. I truly believe that all of this is somehow working for us because we need to learn the lessons. And there is better if we're willing to believe it and to do the do for it, right? To be arms and feet, hands and legs, and being love in all of the ways and forms that we can. Always being love. I don't know, maybe I'll regret saying this, but thinking about peaceful protest is one of the things that has been disturbing me, I guess is the best way to put it, because part of the healing journey I'm on is about acceptance and allowing and ease and trust. And to me, even peaceful protest is still a showing up against whatever. And some of the things that I thought I would be excited to do in healing my physical body, and maybe because I'm doing it at this time in the world and in my life and in this cosmos, even those things feel like showing up against my body. And I'm really struggling with that because I don't want to fight my body. Even if something is inside my body that shouldn't be there, or that we don't like, or we don't understand, I don't feel the desire to fight against it. I mean, it goes back to like Chris Carr loving her cancer and saying, you know, I know you're there. You're part of my body, you know, not laying down and accepting and, you know, but nutritionally, I believe in adding instead of just subtracting or restricting or all of that, allowing the good to overwhelm the bad or to overcome the bad. And I think that just is growing, to not fight against those things that have come in and they feel like they've taken over. Why am I not just continuing to support the good? And so when I see things about peaceful protests and the difference between a protest and a riot, and I just keep thinking about shoring up what's good and embracing everything. And but I hate the phrase, but I keep hearing it, killing them with kindness. So just spreading more love, spreading more light, allowing the good to grow. I don't know that peaceful protesting isn't the answer, but finding a way to get the good to grow is more aligned with where I am. Says me. Final thoughts on our something?
Yeah, I'm all for sending more light and love out into the world at any time. So for sure. And I don't know that I have the answers either way, right? And I think it's okay to not always have all of the answers, but showing up with light and love, right? And support for those that need the love and the light, I think is the place to start. So, and whatever that means. And wherever you are, right? Because that could mean something different physically as well as energetically, spiritually, depending on where you physically are as well as where you energetically are. So, because there's a difference between where I am physically, right, and what I can do on a one-on-one or one-on group, right? And then what I can do for the larger world too, to spread that energy too. So then there's a difference between where you are physically. So,
Yep.
But, and then there's what we can do for our kids to help them process and understand it. Maybe that's a topic for next week.
Yes. So,
Because how I talk to my 4-year-old about things, I mean, I don't have the news, so what he's seeing may be different. And how I talk to my teenager about it is different too, because how they can process it is different too. And I'm not saying don't talk to the 4-year-old or don't talk around the 4-year-old necessarily, but understanding that how they process that when that chaos is going on around them is different than the 14-year-old who has 10 more years of, regardless of what that life experience is, right? They have that maturity, mental growth, physical growth to understand more of how the world works around them. They're definitely not to where a 25-year-old is, or, I mean, heck, I'm at 45, almost 45, still processing how the world works around me too. But understanding that each stage is different too. We have to have a conversation, because we had a little bit of that conversation 3 months ago, right? About talking to them about staying in and the changes in the world and the changes that they're dealing with. Now that's understanding this is also for them.
Yep. But the conversations are important to have, even if they're difficult. And even if you're not sure what or how much they'll comprehend, they're important conversations to have. Because even if it's not something that the 4-year-old really remembers, their body will remember it, and their body will process things differently if you hold the space of peace around them and establish the trust in the relationship that you literally do talk about anything and everything, even the hard things, even the things that you don't understand, even before you understand them completely, that you're willing to have those open conversations. I think that's
and then that helps them to grow into those 14-year-olds and 25-year-olds and 45-year-olds that are willing to have those hard conversations, understand how to process things when, you know, unrest and upheaval in their lives happen, and regardless of what that is, right? It helps them with that growth. So
yeah. Speaking of love and light and sending goodness out into the world, I and some of my Reiki girls are going to be sending love and healing in all and any forms that the world and the people in it will take it tomorrow. If you can feel compelled to tap into that energy, just set the intention that you are joining with other like-minded individuals who desire to spread love and healing. And we would appreciate that however you wish to do it. Meditate, pray, dance, garden, hold someone you love, goodness and intention, send Reiki or any other healing modality, that would be greatly appreciated. And
We have a
Crunchy Mama
webinar
talk.
coming up.
Yes, Crunchy Mama on the 22nd, which is a Monday this month. We are going to be talking microbiota, microbiome in your gut with Dr. Mitra Ray. We're going to let her do the talking and I'm going to do the listening and tell you maybe a little bit about my gut journey. So the 22nd at 7 p.m. If you follow my page, there's information.
7 p.m. Central.
Central. Yes, 7 p.m. Central. I'm wondering if I post to the chat if anybody can see it. Let's see. It's not going to post out there. Speaking of technology.
We'll make sure to get you the details because I'll post it also on mine too. So this way I have it.
Yeah, we will post it in the comments. So there's a sign up page for that so you can get all of the details. Yeah, we will be back here next Sunday. Yes?
As far as I know. Yeah.
Talking
Maybe
about
not Sunday. Yeah. Next Sunday is the
7th.
7th? Something? Yeah,
7th.
it should be okay. Should be good. Not planning anything in the immediate future. So
Fantastic. And again, if you have any suggestions or anything you want to hear us blabber on about, you can always make a